Hello, you're listening to the OmniTalk Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with Microsoft, the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Takeoff, Sezzle, and Silk.
All right, let's keep rolling.
All right, let's do the headline of the year. Dave Ritter, we're going back to you. What was your pick?
My pick is buy now, pay later during Black Friday. I think just the massive growth and the huge portion of the sales that could be attributed to buy now, pay later was just insane. I think from one perspective, it's great innovation and it's amazing growth by those companies that are doing the buy now, pay later services. I think the second point is troubling that in an inflationary and recessionary environment, we've got all these consumers needing buy now, pay later. In some ways, it kind of smells like the subprime loans ahead of 2008. So I think it's both the headline of the year, but also a particularly troubling headline.
The BNPL short.
Wow.
We're gonna have a new version of that movie.
Wow. Dave always brings it on this one, in this category particularly. That's a good one.
All right, David Brown, what's your pick for headline of the year?
Yeah, maybe a little repetitive here. I'm doubling down on my CEO pick. As the Patagonia founder gives away a company to fight climate change. Like I remember being exactly where I was when I read it that morning, and and to me that just stood out as as you said, Chris, it's a mic drop moment. So
yeah, for sure. That was a shocker. Like that was one of the things where you're like, well, I got to dig into and read this right away and figure out like what exactly is happening. And it was exactly as the headline said. It was really remarkable.
Yeah, potentially the most impactful headline for the world. For sure.
Yeah. Chris, what one headline a year for you?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't slag me off on this one too, because since
you already said it.
Yeah, well, I said it last week. Yeah, but I said every week, everyone always gave me grief because I was like, this is my retail headline of the year, which I kept a list. I only kept 8 candidates in the running. I won't list those off.
That's like almost one a month
in 52 weeks. That's not that much. 8 headlines in the running. Come on, give me some credit. All right, mine is
365 days. So
right.
Oh,
yeah, it's
David,
8 out of 365. Thank you, David. Yes, it's a small fraction. Anyway. Mine is Walmart mandating RFID.
Yeah, that was
in
huge.
home furnishings. I loved it since the beginning, and I said it last week too. But RFID is only going to become more commonplace here because of all the issues with theft. And the other thing I love about it too, which is why I singled out Doug McMillon in the beginning. Walmart, if you look back, actually made that announcement in January of this year. How many other retailers have you read about mandating RFID since? I can't think of one. I think it's a big fat zero.
Yeah.
And so it shows me that Walmart's got its act together and is thinking about things in the right way, which I think is really important as you talk about how the industry is going to move towards something.
Yeah. Big ups for Walmart this week in the pod.
Yeah, really,
I'm surprised. Not typical of you, but
I'm critical, but I'm fair. I try to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
I had to go with the Albertsons Kroger merger. That for me was like what David Brown said, where you're like, you remember where you were when you saw that headline because it was so.
Do you remember where you were?
I do. I mean, there's not a lot of places that I could have been, but I do. I was right here at this table and the text came through and I was like, whoa, this is going to be massive, especially with like Ahold like thrown in and around that for a little while.
Yeah.
But I think that you talk about the power of this with merging retail media platforms, as Dave Ritter was talking about earlier. I think shipping, all the things that Dave mentioned, really like shipping from hub and spoke facilities going into territories without physical stores. And I think that we're going to see further experimentation if this goes through in retail technology. You have Albertsons, who's a big player in that space, and Kroger. So I think they're really kind of, for me, going to be the frontline like retail tech grocery industry provider for the future of the grocery industry. So I thought that was a massive headline.
That's a really good point, and I hadn't thought about that too in the context of the Kroger conversation. Kroger is taking a tech platform play here in some of the things. I wonder if they're going to start to do that in other spaces too. Like you think about what they're doing with Everseen and checkout and all that kind of stuff too. And where do they take this? But that's a really great one.